time to get into the core of algebra. All right, solving equations. Given a variable, being able to go through a lot of steps to solve for that variable. But before we can do that, we have to look at what our equations look like and what they're made up of. And also in math, we have something called a formula. It's a rule for the relationship between certain quantities. Well, equations can be used as formulas for certain things. So we have a lot of different formulas. We have formulas for perimeter, formulas for area, formulas for volume, all kinds of things, for distance, rates, and times, all kinds of stuff. So we're going to use some formulas here, but for the most part, we're just going to deal with writing equations. So for example, we have a sentence, and we're going to translate this sentence into an equation. So I look through it. It says a number b divided by 3 is 6 less than c. Well, first thing we always want to look for in the equation is right here. This word is. Is always represents an equal sign. Okay, it might say is, or it also might say equals. Whenever you say is or equals, we know we got an equal sign. So I got to break this up. I got the left side of the equal sign and the right side of the equal sign. Well, the left side says a number b, so b, divided by 3. Well, we're in algebra now, so let's stop using this division symbol. If we're going to write division, we're going to write it as a fraction. So we're going to go b over 3, b divided by 3. And now we're saying that is, well, is an equal sign. I'm going to bring that is over for that equal sign. 6 less than c. And if we remember, this is not 6 minus c, right? I'm taking 6 less than c. So I got to take 6 away from c. So it's c minus 6. And that's on the right side of my equal sign. So here's my equation. B divided by 3 equals c minus 6. I just took that sentence and turned it into an equation. Looking at the next one. 15 more than x times 6 is, let's start with that left side. Because I know this is my equal sign, so I'm going to just bring that down. 15 more than x times 6. Well, x times 6, a number times a variable, we don't want to write x times 6, we want to write it as 6x, right? The number always comes first. And 15 more than. So more than, I'm thinking plus. So I can either write 15 plus 6x, or technically I should write it 6x plus 15. But addition is commutative, so it doesn't matter which order you write that. And looking at the right side, 11 less than y times 2. Same thing, y times 2, we're going to write as 2y. And 11 less than that amount, so I have to subtract it from that 2y. Remember, I know it's subtraction, but that less than tells me I got to take it away from 2y. So 2y minus 11. So here's my equation. 6x plus 15 equals 2y minus 11. And lastly, 4 times the sum of 14 and c is m squared. Well, I think the right side is pretty easy here. Is, that's my equals. M squared, I could write that one. Well, over here, 4 times the sum. So I'm taking 4 times this entire sum, which is what? 14 plus c. Sum means addition. I'm taking 4 times that entire sum. So that means I need to put that in parentheses because I'm taking 4 times the entire sum. It's not just 4 times 14 plus c, because then I'm not taking the 4 times the c as well. So we're not doing that. Got to put it in parentheses. And there you go, final answer. Well, let's take a look when we come up with a formula. Right? So here it says, translate it into a formula. The perimeter of a square equals 4 times the length of a side. Well, let's think about a square. And I'm just going to call one of the sides S. Could be 5 inches, could be 4 centimeters, doesn't matter. So we'll call it S. And it's all the same, isn't it? Just S, 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 S. They're all the same length. So it looks like I got 4 S's, right? And that's for that 4 times the length of the side. So basically, we just want to give some variables. Well, the perimeter of a square, let's give that a capital P. That's what we give that in math. Capital P equals, so equal sign, 4 times the length of a side, which I called S. I mean, I could have written this as P equals 4x, where x is the side, and put x instead. But hey, let's do it something that makes sense, right? Let's leave it as 4s because S stands for side. This makes a little more sense, right? So P equals 4x. And lastly, let's write this sentence now. So we're going to go the opposite way. And I don't mind, you don't have to write out the word. I can just say 12. I don't have to spell out 12. But I have to spell out my operations and everything else. So I want to say 12 minus, I can't just say 2x because I'm multiplying, aren't I? There's multiplying in between here. So I got to say minus 2 times x equals or is, for my equal sign, I like to write is negative 5. I'm okay with that. There's my sentence. And just be careful, because there's a lot of ways to write this. I could have said the difference of 12 and 2 times x. I could have said 12 minus the product of 2 and x. I mean, there's so many ways you could say these things. But just try to keep it as basic as you can. You don't have to be too fancy. So down here, for number 2, I have a squared, or a to the second power. Either way, I'm going to write a squared. A squared plus, might as well just write plus 3, can't just say 3b, I got to say 3 times b, what operation is occurring there, is for my equal sign. And remember, fraction bar, we're saying division, right? Is c divided by b, or divided by 6. b, what am I? Divided by 6. Okay, so tell me what that operation is. Don't just say c over 6. Say c divided by 6. Okay, so a lot of different ways you could write this. So sometimes your answers might not match the book's answer, but just check with me if you're not sure. All right, pretty straightforward. Just working with those equations. Might have to write the equation, might have to write it into a sentence.